Hey guys, Matt coming at you from the Z today. I know it's been a while since I've really made a video, and especially one of me in front of the camera, and I'm just kind of sitting in the car here killing time. It's a crappy day out here in New Jersey. I think you can probably see that out the rear window there. Yeah, and nice and rainy. The weather hasn't been too great in this state lately, so I just figured I'd make a little short video about driving a sports car. You know, it's something that's really true and dear to my heart, being an owner of this car. And, I've always loved American muscle cars, which this video will apply to as well. You know, sports car is kind of a general term anymore, but, driving muscle cars and sports cars in general. And one of the reasons I really like driving a sports car, let's start with sports cars in particular, because there is a difference between muscle cars and sports cars. Sports cars to me are small, lightweight. Power is going to vary between all of them. Some of them don't have as much power, like let's say a Mazda Miata or a Subaru BRZ. That has more than a Miata, but and then of course you got the Nissan Z here, and then cars that are more expensive like the Corvette and other cars as well. But in general, I believe a sports car is, it's small, lighter weight, power's going to vary, like I said, something that handles really well. Not the most practical car in the world, they never are, but you don't buy them for that. That's okay. A muscle car is, well, American muscle, so it's a bigger car, a little heavier, a little bit better for traveling. You can fit some more stuff in it, a little bit more in some. The Dodge Challenger, you can fit a lot of stuff in compared to the Camaro and the Mustang. But, and same goes for the Charger being a sedan now. But, in general, they have V8s. I love the V8 muscle cars especially. I mean, the V6s are cool, and now they're making these 4-cylinder EcoBoosts for the Mustang, and now the new Camaro's can have a turbo 4-cylinder as well. So that's a pretty appealing option. I can understand that. But to me, I'd get the V8. There's no replacement for displacement, as they say, and the old "don't hate my V8" saying. But as far as reasons why I drive a sports car is because nothing feels as connected to the road as a sports car, in my opinion. I mean, some muscle cars do, but in general, these types of cars just give you a great satisfaction of driving. You sit lower, you feel like you're more inside the car instead of sitting on top of it like you do in a larger car like a sedan or an SUV or a pickup truck or stuff. And I come from an area that is very heavily populated with pickups, Jeeps, SUVs, etc. Very, very few people drive these kinds of cars, let alone muscle. Well, muscle cars are actually pretty common up there, but the Nissan Zs, no, not a car you see every day. There's a couple people who own Vets and some other stuff, and some BRZs and FRSs, but the Nissan Z in particular is not a common car up there. I'm actually one of only a few select people from that town who, from good old Dallas, Pennsylvania, who owns a 370Z. And even 350Zs, you don't see a ton of them. And there's some Miatas and stuff up there, but I'm getting too off track here. But basically, I just like sitting low in a car. I like feeling like I'm connected to the road because nothing gives me more driver satisfaction. I never got into the whole off-roading deal or anything like that. I don't hunt or fish. Not that I have anything against it. I just never really got into it. No, not really anybody in my family does it. So I didn't really have anyone to go with when I was young. So I just never got into it. That's just me. I always liked adrenaline rushes. And that's one thing that muscle cars and sports cars give me that bigger cars just can't, is, they give you that adrenaline rush when you're going fast. They make you feel good. I don't know why some people don't like riding in a fast car, feeling, that plant in your seat feeling, and it's just fun. I mean, come on. Yeah, everyone likes it. Some people, I think, more than others. And some people freak out when I drive them in this car and they're sitting shotgun here with me, and I start accelerating and they freak out. And I'm like, come on. I'm not going to lose control of the car. I have limits when I have people riding in the car with me. But versus driving a larger car, there's just not... I've only driven a pickup truck once, and I didn't like it. honestly. The only reason I would ever drive a truck is if I needed it to tow like a boat or a motorcycle or something like that. My dream is towing a boat one day, so I'll probably need a truck or something to tow a boat. I'll probably get a diesel too, because they just tow so much better than gas engines with all the torque that they have. But, you know, basically, I never felt so disconnected from the road until I drove that truck. It was a rental truck that me and my dad rented, 2 years ago, actually, already, over 2 years ago, for spring cleanup. It was a Dodge Ram 1500. It was an okay truck. I mean, it was not a fancy model. It was a rental. It had the 4.7 liter V8. It wasn't the Hemi. Had decent power. It was peppy. I'm sure the Hemi would have felt a lot better. That 4.7 liter is kind of an old engine. It only makes 310 horsepower and 330 pound-feet of torque. Nothing terribly impressive. The Hemi in that, the 5.7, makes 395 horsepower in the Ram 1500. So that, I'm sure, feels a lot better, and it makes like 407 pound-feet of torque, or 410 or something around there. So I'm sure that would have been more fun. But, you know, a common thing a lot of people either like to bust my chops about, or they are actually dead serious, is one thing I hear is, oh, my truck will smoke your car. I'm like, no, it won't. This is why. Your truck is thousands of pounds heavier, maybe sometimes in some cases twice as heavy as this car is. Maybe not quite twice as heavy, but 1.5 times the weight that this is. This car weighs a little over 3,200 pounds, which is a little heavy for its size. I think Nissan should maybe work on lightening it up for the next generation whenever that's coming out. I'm thinking maybe 2017. I'm not really sure, but the thing I've noticed about a lot of guys who drive pickup trucks and think they're fast, especially the diesels, the guys in their modified diesel trucks, is, they have no concept in general of power to weight. They think it's all about power and weight's insignificant. That is not true. And the thing is, pickup trucks have the aerodynamics of a brick. I mean, once they start getting up there in the speed, they're done. Stock trucks are actually limited nowadays. I think some of them are limited to like 98 to 100 miles an hour. I don't even know if I'd want to go that fast on a truck. I don't know why people do. I mean, there is the saying, it's more fun to drive a slow car fast than a fast car slow. But yeah, and that's true. So I guess it can be fun to drive them fast because they feel kind of scary when they're fast. Whereas a car like this, 100 miles an hour, it's just getting started. This car will easily do 150 miles per hour. I think the top speed on it's 155, and people have gotten them to about 160 stock. So that's pretty good. It's not the fastest car in the world, but that's okay. It doesn't need to be. I didn't buy it for that reason. I bought it because it's fun, gives me tons of driver satisfaction, and it puts a big smile on my face. And I don't get that from bigger vehicles. So I like feeling connected to the road, not disconnected from the road. I like driving on smooth roads, not crazy bumpy roads, obviously, because this car does have a firmer suspension. But, I never understood the concept of making a truck fast. In fact, I think the concept of making a truck go fast is stupid, honestly, because of, like I mentioned, with the aerodynamics, all that weight you're carrying. Another thing is, you have a lot more weight to stop. So you better have a darn good set of brakes on your pickup if you plan on stopping it at a high rate of speed, or something catastrophic could happen. I've got sport brakes on this much lighter weight car, which will bring it to a halt in no time. But my point is, I've gotten bullied a lot on the road in this car. I don't know if it's because it's an import, or if it's because, it looks fast and sporty and, more aggressive styling. People think, oh, look at this guy. Daddy bought this car for him, or who does he think he is? How dare you have that car? That's not fair, blah, blah, blah. It's like, well, you could get a car like this too if you applied yourself in life and stuff, but you're not. Or, you spent 10 grand on stupid modifications for your truck, and the thing can still, all it does is roll coal, as they say. We'll save that for another video. But I mean, there's no greater satisfaction, in my opinion, than driving a sports car or a muscle car. Something that feels more connected to the road. Does not have to be an expensive car, because you just get more driver satisfaction from it. And that's what I look for in cars. I like having a low center of gravity. I've never been intimidated by sitting low, unlike so many people who like to sit high. I don't like having a lookout tower point of view, as they say, out of my vehicle. I like being lower and, just having fun in the car. I don't purposely piss people off with it. I have the Borla exhaust on it, which, it's louder than stock, and it gets kind of loud when you get on it hard, especially in the high RPMs, but it's not obnoxious, and I don't go over the top with it. But, so I'd be curious to hear your thoughts on this, because this is just an ongoing war, trucks versus cars. Now, what are the things with trucks? Well, I firmly believe the trucks are purpose-built vehicles. Everything is built for a purpose, let's say that. But trucks have a specific purpose, and for me, they are built for towing, use on farms and stuff like that. They are not at all built for speed, and I don't know why people think they are, and give them crazy amounts of power, especially the diesel trucks. I think that's even dumber, honestly. And, it's cool to drive something that's maybe, got a truck that's got an exhaust on it so it's loud and everything like that. Yeah, that's got its place, but it's still, at the end of the day, you're driving a brick, and it's not going to drive like a car, and it's not going to keep up with a lot of cars because you're carrying all that weight. I don't care how much power you've got. At the end of the day, low center of gravity, aerodynamics, that's what wins racing, not necessarily crazy amounts of power. I mean, does horsepower matter? Yeah, it sure does. But it's not everything. In fact, you don't need a ton of power to have fun and go fast. This car is an example of that. The Mazda Miata is a good example of that. The FRS, the BRZ, they're good examples of that. Now, this has more power than them, with it being a V6, but still, I don't really understand some people's positions on, making trucks and stuff go fast. I don't understand it, really, and I don't know where it comes from, but I'd love to hear your thoughts on it, and hear what you think, and because this is my opinion and why I can justify myself for driving the cars that I do. So I'm gonna stop there because all I'll do is keep rambling. But so yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you guys later. Take care.